So I was fortunate enough to play WWE 2K22 on January 13th. And if I am being completely honest, I was pleasantly surprised. Now, before we get into the nitty gritty, this isn't a full-on breakdown video where I'm gonna explain everything. I can't do that yet, but I am allowed to talk about like my overall first impressions. And then of course, thank you to 2K for this opportunity. And thank you guys for always watching the videos and supporting me, because without you guys, this would not be happening. So we played on January 13th and I went in with an open mind, but also very little expectations. We played for roughly like 2.5 hours, maybe 3. And I actually had fun. We played a near final build of the game. It wasn't like a super early version where we could only play like one match type. It was basically the full game. And obviously they're still working on it, so it's not finished, but we saw mostly everything that will be coming out with WWE 2K22. I spent most of my time in MyGM and regular matches. I really wanted to figure out how the new controls worked. I wanted to feel the gameplay, and I was really interested about MyGM, so most of my time went there. Now, before I talk about my first impressions with MyGM, I want to talk about the controls and the gameplay for a second. Going in, I wasn't really sure if I was gonna like the controls. They actually have a tutorial in the game that you can play if you want to learn the controls faster, and honestly, I highly recommend it. I was being a little stubborn at first when we first got there. I was like, man, I don't need the controls. I'm a vet. I'm experienced. I know what I'm doing. No, the tutorial is where it's at. It's quick and it's very helpful. I felt like the gameplay was pretty smooth. Once I started getting a little more comfortable with the controls, I was able to put on some cool sequences and spots with the CPU, and the combos that they added actually make the sequences and spots kind of flow really nicely. I was very surprised because I was pretty skeptical of combos. When we saw the hit list trailer a couple months back, I was like, yeah, I don't know about this. But when you actually sit down and play it, it's actually pretty cool. I don't really know how to describe it, but 2K22's gameplay feels like very familiar, but also very fresh at the same time. Now, like I said earlier, MyGM is the mode I spent the most amount of time in, and let me tell you, there are so many cool features that they put into this mode that makes it incredibly enjoyable. It sucks that I can't say a lot right now, and I wish I could share more with you guys at this current moment, but I'll say this, you can tell that some thought went into MyGM. I think besides universe mode, MyGM is the mode I'm gonna spend the most amount of time in. I can say that. Now, as for MyRISE, I didn't want to get too far into it because I really didn't want to get spoiled. I want to save some of that for the pre-release where we could record footage, and when we actually, you know, get the game and I can record it for the channel and stuff like that. So I didn't get too far deep into it. But even though I only played for a short amount of time, I was enjoying myself, and I'm very interested to see where they go with the storylines. They added something that I've wanted to see for a while, so I'm interested to see how that plays out. Next up, I want to talk about the graphics and the presentation for this game. I know it's not a deal breaker for a lot of people. I know, you know, graphics and presentation doesn't make a game great, but let me tell you, dude, this is hands down the best a WWE game has ever looked, and I can say that with confidence. I cannot get over how good the entrances look in this game. All the entrances I was able to see, I didn't see everybody's, but all the entrances that I was able to see just feels like real WWE TV. It really brings you in, and like I found myself just watching the entrances. I always like watch the entrances with the new game because I'm curious to see if anything changed, but like I was watching the entrances because it felt like WWE TV. I saw a decent amount of entrances, but I'll say this, so far, Roman Reigns and Finn Balor's entrance are my two personal favorites. The championships are also the best they have ever looked. I don't even know how to describe it, dude. You just have to see it for yourself. Whenever they drop something and someone's holding a title, you gotta see it, dude. The titles look good. This one's not too crazy, but I really like the menus this year. They're super clean, and they're not gonna blind you like how WWE 2K19 did, I promise. When it was time to put the controllers down and stop playing, we got to sit down with 2K and share our thoughts and constructive criticism with them, and they really took the time to listen and really hear what we had to say, and that was very much appreciated. We just had a real and honest conversation about what their vision was for 2K22 and where they want to take the games in the future. And look, no game is perfect. I'm not going to sit here and act like this game is flawless. I gave them my feedback and constructive criticism, and when I'm able to speak more about that in a future video, you know I got you. You know I'm gonna keep it real. For those that don't believe me about keeping it real, you can look at my WWE 2K20 first impressions video, and I was a little ruthless. But with that being said, from the time I had playing it, I saw way more positives than I saw negatives. When me, Dalton, and Aaron were heading back to the hotel, I was just sitting in the car like, damn, I actually had fun. That's not something I thought I'd say at the end of playing this game. And again, thank you to 2K for this opportunity. I've been working with 2K since 2017, and I've been begging for an opportunity like this for years, dude, and it finally came around, and I genuinely appreciate it. I want to thank you guys, my Spartans, as well, because dude, you guys have been showing nothing but love and support for the past year and a half. The channel has been doing crazy numbers, and that's all thanks to you guys. So I mean it when I say that I appreciate you, and I'm not going to lead you astray. Obviously, these are just my opinions. I had fun. You might not. And obviously, don't just listen to me. Wait for gameplay to come out. Make your own opinions. I'm just sharing my thoughts with you guys. If you can go into this game with an open mind and just see it for what it is, I do think you'll have some fun. And I know for some, this isn't the video you were looking for. I know some of you might have been expecting me to jump into everything I saw, but I can't talk about that right now. This NDA hitting different. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video anyway. But with all that being said, I'm out. Deuces.